Do you accept that you know approximately everything? Think once more. Opposite to common rationale, trust, this undetectable stick that holds all our connections together, can be built and devastated within the squint of an eye, not a long time. It's a stunning explanation, I know, but what I'm about to uncover within the following few minutes goes beyond any customary conviction. In a fair few minutes, you'll find a covered-up mystery profound inside human connections that can change the way you are associated with companions, family, and indeed outsiders. Are you prepared to challenge everything you thought you knew about the establishment of human connections? At that point, do not see absence, since what's coming next will alter your discernment until the end of time. Get prepared for a startling disclosure. In today's video, we'll explore the dubious landscape of human connections, centered on 9 sorts of identities that will challenge everything you know and almost believe. Disregard the conventional. I'm here to shed light on the dim corners of the human mind. Envision unraveling, in a fair number of minutes, the privileged insights behind the activities and words of those whom trusting appears like a hazardous amusement. Are you prepared for this trip? Nowadays, we'll not only recognize these interesting sorts, but also investigate why aimlessly trusting them can be a perilous amusement. Each step of this journey will lead us to address who truly merits a place in our lives. Lessons from the Stoics will direct us not to disregard, but to recognize when it's time to step back to ensure our well-being. Connect me on this energizing journey, where we'll adjust shrewdness and caution, learning to preserve a secure separation without losing humankind in our connections. This isn't a fair lesson, it's a transformative enterprise. Are you prepared to have your sense of belief turned upside down? In our journey of disclosures, we experience the primary charming character, the controller. Exploring the misleading waters of relationships with these identities could be a challenge that requires caution. Why? Because maintaining a candidly sound environment is fundamental. Controllers are aces within the craftsmanship of self-centeredness, continuously in the interest of their possessive benefits in any case of the fetch to others. They use a range of clever strategies, from lies and psychological games to passionate misuse, all to attain their goals. The peril lies in the nuance of their maneuvers, making them troublesome to distinguish. These behaviors can emerge in both individual connections and the work environment. Trusting controllers can result in disloyalties and profound enthusiastic wounds, as well as disintegrate the belief you put in others. So how do you secure yourself from these sly figures? It all begins by recognizing the signs of control. Be alert to pointers such as lack of transparency and inconsistent behaviors, which determine feelings of being beneath control. Establishing clear boundaries is vital. Communicate immovably and do not falter to precise distress within the context of manipulative demeanors. At times, separating yourself is the most precise choice, particularly in the event that the control does not dissipate. Respecting yourself implies recognizing when a relationship is poisonous and taking actions to secure your mental health. This may include breaking ties with controllers and looking for enthusiastic bolster when fundamental. By remaining alert to these signs and setting up firm boundaries, you clear the way for more advantageous and more honest-to-goodness connections. It's a journey towards self-preservation and building honest, good, and enduring associations. Picture a wide and shifted scene of interpersonal connections where non-stop reactions tend to uncover more around the fault finder than approximately the target of these perceptions. It's as if a highlight sparkles on the fault finder themselves, uncovering their genuine colors. Reflecting on the key address, when is it judicious to separate oneself from these identities? Imagine finding a clearing, an asylum in the midst of thick timberland, a haven for sound connections absent from the tornado of ceaseless feedback. Picture gossipers and rumor spreaders as shadowy figures from a medieval town. Their whispered discussions are indeed proceeding in your absence. Venturing away from them is as astute as a pilot maintaining a strategic distance from turbulent waters. These people, fixated on indicating others' imperfections to promote themselves, take after members in a disguise ball where genuines eagerly cover up behind camouflages. As you observe this video, you end up being an observer. Think around the fault finders and gossipers. They are not locked into helpful activities. They are the clowns within the exhibition of present-day life, with expectations of debasing others to cover their own disappointment. When exploring through this account, keep in mind to specifically select those who are a portion of your travel. Those who retch perniciousness can, with the same ease, turn their backs on you. Diving into the examination of the third character, the never-ending companion to everybody, we develop a complex embroidered artwork of social intelligence. This person, frequently seen as the dynamic epicenter of any gathering, emanates clear warmth and a readiness to assist. Their presence is just like the sun in a cloudless sky, drawing others in with their brightness and infectious vitality. Be that as it may, underneath this lacquer of charm and charisma lies a more nuanced reality. This character may be a maestro within the ensemble of social relations, skillfully playing the strings of affability and pleasantness to compose an orchestra that resounds with the tune of ubiquity. Their persistent interest in acknowledgement and adoration may reflect not a desire for profoundly important associations, but an unquenchable thirst to be the center of consideration. In their world, connections are regularly seen not as honest-to-goodness trades of love, but as steps on a ladder to social ascent. In this situation, you might discover yourself as fair to another onlooker in their group of onlookers, another confront within the swarm, instead of a companion in the genuine sense of the word. They can be like talented performing artists whose part is to be inviting and open, but whose script does not incorporate passionate profundity or veritable commitment. Their grin, whereas warm and welcoming, may be as practiced as a signal of courteousness. This original reminds us of the significance of discerning between those whose friendship is rooted in bona fide sentiments and those whose camaraderie could be a calculated execution. In a world where appearances often eclipse reality, genuine fellowship could be an uncommon treasure characterized by an association that goes past sparkly surfaces and amicable words. Subsequently, as we encounter these friends, it is wise to keep in mind that genuine association may be an exchange of souls, not a fair trade of grins and welcomes. It's ripe ground where truthfulness blooms and realness takes root, distant from the shadows of triviality and self-deception. In the event that you're getting a charge out of this, do not disregard to take off your comment, a like, and subscribe to the channel as we proceed. Within the complicated embroidered artwork of human relations, we experience the fourth character, a genuine chameleon of communication, the faker of attention. This figure could be an ace within the craftsmanship of pretending, intrigued a gifted performing artist in our everyday theater of discourse. Have you ever come over somebody like this, somebody who consequently reacts with expressions like, "I get it," or "That's genuine, but whose eyes and intellect mean the distant?" From the discussion, this posy isn't fair dull, but carries an discourse of inconspicuous disregard. More regrettable still is when, in their turn to speak, this interlocutor plunges into the world of their cell phone, exploring a advanced sea, whereas you attempt to set up a genuine association. Their reactions ended up purge echoes missing weight or veritable intrigued. It's as in case for them keeping up an appearance of support is adequate. Without genuine commitment to the trade of ideas in such minutes, you might feel like you're talking to a divider, where your words resonate without finding a goal. Dissatisfaction develops once you realize that the other party is more committed to pixels and notices than to the lavishness of human discussion. Here emerges a situation. Continue in attempting to establish an exchange with somebody, clearly uninterested or picked a conclusion. The interaction regarding your claim time and exertion, the answer appears clear. There's no rationale in pouring vitality into a bottomless vessel. Esteeming your possess words and time implies recognizing when they are not being acknowledged in this manner. Don't waver to walk absent from such intelligent. It's not a matter of giving up, but choosing to invest where your communication will be esteemed. There's no require to keep up regard for somebody who chooses to feign consideration, whereas occupied with their cell phone, by making the choice to walk absent, you're choosing conversations that improve, that are corresponding and important in this situation. The quiet you select can be more capable than squandered words. It's a choice of self-valorization and interest of bona fide intelligent where each party is really show both in tuning in and in talking on the off chance that you're enjoying this. Do not miss out on the opportunity. Buy the ebook presently. Stoicism within the 21st century, old techniques for present day. Challenging and open your thriving plenitude and progress your connections with this ebook. Connect within the stuck comment. Within the complicated mosaic of human relationships emerges the fifth character. The one void of compassion whose slant to betray or hurt for individual pickup reveals a disturbing characteristic. Empathy is like a beacon in the obscurity of lack of interest. It permits us to feel and get it. The torment of others. Envision empathy as an internal, a voice that questions us, what, on the off chance that it were me? This capacity to put oneself in another's put is what makes us human, what cultivates trust and shared understanding. When we experience somebody void of this imperative staff, we tread on perilous ground. Such people with their failure or reluctance to see and esteem others. Sentiments can effectively cross the line of respect and decency without an indicate of regret. They see others as pieces on a chessboard, moving them without considering the enthusiastic results of their activities. This need of sympathy goes past unimportant cold-heartedness. It's a lack in passionate understanding that shows in hurtful behaviors. These individuals can be masters of control, utilizing words and actions to accomplish their goals without a moment thought of the negative effect they may have on others. Moreover, and revulsion to obligation is a striking characteristic of these individuals. They might commit botches or hurt others, but they once in a while take duty for their activities in step. They discover pardons or move the fault, remaining in a bubble of self-justification. Hence, the lesson we draw here is crucial when managing with people who illustrate a clear need of sympathy. It's vital to preserve a high degree of caution, their failure to value and get it. The emotions of others makes them possibly perilous in terms of individual connections. These individuals cannot, as it were, cause passionate hurt, but can too be sources of superfluous disarray and struggle. Hence, it's fundamental to approach such people with a blend of mindfulness and caution, the capacity to recognize as a lack of empathy. In somebody can be an important device in securing against controls and double dealings in these cases. Believe ought to be saved for those who illustrate a honest to goodness and true understanding of the affect of their activities on others. These are the individuals who, by understanding the feelings of others, construct connections based on mutual respect and genuine consideration. As we explore the challenge of interpersonal connections, recalling that not everybody has the capacity or the readiness to empathize is vital. This empowers us to make more grounded and more significant bonds with those who genuinely esteem and understand the complexities of the human heart. Wandering more profound into our travel of understanding interpersonal connections, we experience the sixth character, the steady provocator, or always wrapped in the certainty of their possessed rightness. This character could be a master in the craftsmanship of activating irritation, a talented controller of feelings who works on an inconspicuous terrain, often undetectable. To the absent-minded eye, there's a principal contrast between transitory restlessness, the kind that surfaces in times of pressure, and the incessant aggravation that this character incites. They possess a nearly covered-up capacity to toss words and activities that, like fine needles, prick and chafe. Without taking off unmistakable marks, they plant seeds of question, twist realities with tricky comments, and incite with an effectiveness that's nearly subtle. The challenge here is to recognize this enthusiastic and psychological diversion that unfurls steadily and watchfully. These provocateurs frequently revel within the basic act of exasperating others, enthusiastic at just finding delight in the distress they cause. They play this unobtrusive amusement not to pick up something substantial, but for the sheer joy of seeing others destabilized. Essentially, being mindful of these recreations and traps is vital to avoid being unwittingly snared in their webs when you realize that somebody is reliably inciting bothering. It's a clear sign that you just are being quietly manipulated. These activities can be troublesome to distinguish as they are often disguised as safe comments or casual jokes. Prepare yourself to deal with these complex dynamics, deliberately recognizing once you are being controlled indeed. Unpretentiously is the primary step in securing yourself. Creating a sharp recognition of these interactions will permit you to keep up your passionate adjust and react appropriately. Remember, some of the time the most excellent defense could be a sharp mindfulness of these games. By being mindful of the inconspicuous strategies of these characters, you engage yourself to explore these complicated social scenes with more noteworthy clarity and resilience. This mindfulness, not as it were, ensures your passionate well-being, but moreover allows you to connect it more truly and less reactively with those around you. The seventh character rises with a cloud of ceaseless challenges drifting over their head. This person appears to be in a perpetual cycle of clashes and misfortunes, announcing that life may be an arrangement of inconceivably impediments. They live in a consistent state of disappointment. But what is more captivating is their clear failure or unwillingness to change the course of their circumstances. This individual appears to have a skill for finding challenges at every turn. They are characterized by sharing their misfortunes with everyone around them, painting a picture of their life as a labyrinth of trials and tribulations, but a closer see reveals something more regularly. It is their own choices and activities that lead them to these repeating issues. The pattern of always confronting issues isn't mere coincidence or mystifying. Hardship in many cases, it may be a direct result of ineffectively calculated decisions and a refusal to memorize from past botches. The person appears to be caught in a horrendous cycle of self-inflicted issues, a web of complication they themselves weave. When connection with this sort of person, it is crucial to preserve a certain emotional distance by getting profoundly included with them. You chance being drawn into their chaotic world where their problems can start to weigh on your shoulders. As heavy burdens, their failure to oversee their possessed feelings includes another layer of complexity to the circumstance, making inclusion indeed less secure. It is fitting to approach this individual with a healthy measurements of skepticism. When confronted with their narratives of perpetual challenges, it is important to keep in mind that their issues can effectively gotten to be a weight for you. Compassion is an ideals, but it should not be exercised at the cost of your possessed well-being. Keep in mind that, whereas everyone's life has its own challenges, absorbing somebody else's challenges can be an intemperate burden. In certain circumstances, the most sensible choice is to maintain a secure, separate, protecting your own peace and adjust in some cases in the complex move of life. The most astute move is to step back and take care of your claim. Well-being, the eighth in the vast universe of human relationships, we come over a especially baffling character. The ace of guile, whose ability in spreading gossip is as created as their capacity to show a neighborly face. This eighth character at times could appear like a steadfast companion, but stows away a darker aspect uncovered, as it were, behind the scenes. They are genuine specialists of dissimulation, able of exchanging between a warm smile and kind words to within the next moment, weaving a web of rumors and interests. This duality is not constrained to one individual. They spread their destructive stories about numerous, making a path of mistaken assumptions and mistrust. The peril of these individuals lies in their capacity to see out friction quietly. They frequently begin their chatter, treacherously blending truths and lies so skillfully that it gets to be troublesome to recognize the genuine from the created. With a comment here and another there, they can discolor notorieties, misshape discernments, and destabilize already strong connections once you experience such behavior. The circumstance requests a quick and conclusive reaction. Keeping up a connection relationship with the individual who illustrates such deception is like strolling on a minefield of doubt and misrepresentation. Genuineness and astuteness, columns of any solid relationship, are outside concepts to these experts of dissimulation. In this manner, upon recognizing this guile, securing your peace and well-being ought to be your most elevated need. Removing yourself from these individuals may be the most astute and most preventive choice. By moving absent, you secure yourself from being included in a vortex of prattle and lies, protecting your keenness and tranquility. Keep in mind the nearness of individuals like these in your life can be greatly harmful. They not, as it were, erode belief, but to contaminate the social environment with their harmful words. The capacity to recognize and separate yourself from these people is significant. It's an act of self-defense, a key move to keep your mental and passionate well-being intaglio and rundown. The eighth character in our story could be an update that not all grins are earnest and not all neighborly words reflect genuine eagerly. The lesson is, be watchful and ensure yourself the capacity to identify and unravel yourself from individuals who hone the craftsmanship of talk and guile is basic for securely exploring the complex waters of human connections. By doing so, you select a way of genuineness and keenness, moving away from those who favor to live within the shadows of misrepresentation and untruthfulness. Within the endless scene of our story, around interpersonal connections, rises the ninth and complex character. The harmful person connection with such individuals is an passionate mind field filled with traps that can profoundly hurt mental and passionate well-being. These are the aces of pessimism, specialists in sowing doubt and distress. Poisonous characteristics show in different and treacherous ways. It may be through persistent reactions that disintegrate self-esteem, enthusiastic controls that confound and destabilize, or ill-bred behaviors that harm it and estrange. These people make a choking air where bliss and efficiency are, continually undermine the propagated cynicism by poisonous individuals is like a infection, contaminating the environment and spreading to those around. Being within the company of such individuals can be a debilitating travel, where each interaction becomes a challenge to preserve one's enthusiastic judgment. Recognizing poisonous quality is the primary step in ensuring yourself. It's crucial to be mindful of the signs from deprecatory comments to controlling states of mind, and get at how these flow influence your well-being. Regarding yourself implies setting firm boundaries and not permitting another person's poisonous behavior to attack your enthusiastic space. Communicating self-assuredly is key. Communicating distress within the confront of harmful behavior is not fair or right, but a need for protecting your mental well-being. Be that as it may, when pessimism endures and poisonous quality proceeds to penetrate, the choice to separate oneself gets to be not as it were sensible, but fundamental. Enthusiastic self-defense against toxic people is in fundamental practice. By identifying destructive behavior designs, you enable yourself to set up and keep up solid boundaries. This is often not fair, a form of self-preservation, but two, a step towards developing more positive and enhancing connections. Making a space that sustains well-being and inspiration is an act of self-care. Within the complex texture of human connections, choosing to encompass yourself with individuals who contribute to your passionate well-being is basic. Through the hone of recognizing and separating yourself from toxic impacts, you'll be able to construct an environment where sound and enriching connections prosper. Hence, by removing yourself from toxic people, you not, as it were, ensure yourself but too clear the way for more true and significant associations. As we conclude our edifying travel through the universe of human connections and their complexities, I'd like to remind you that every moment we spend together may be a step in our collective travel of plate revelation and growth. But sometime recently we say our farewells. I have something extraordinary to share, a mystery that can alter the way you see the world around you, in case you found this video illuminating. Imagine what else is holding up for you on our channel. Each video may be a piece of a bigger perplex, uncovering bits of knowledge into human nature and methodologies for a more satisfying and fulfilling life. By subscribing, you connect a community of smart and inquisitive scholars, all in interest of information and intelligence. But do not keep this treasure to yourself. Share this video with companions and family. You never know who might advantage from these important experiences by sharing. You not, as it were, back our work, but moreover contribute to spreading information and understanding. And of course, your thoughts and experiences are valuable to us. Leave a comment underneath, sharing your stories or any reflections. This video may have started. Each comment is a window to unused points of view and enhances the encounter of all. At last, in case you delighted in this video, show your back with a like. Each like may be a sign that we are on the correct track, persuading us to bring indeed more important content to you. See you another time.